Now, I don't normally dress like this, but since we're putting on our detective hats, let's dress for the part. Let me say this clearly. I'm not claiming I know who did this kidnapping of Nancy Gutherie, but I am saying this doesn't look random. I completed a video a few days ago over the weirdness and timing of this case, so go check it out. It's a little longer, a little more details. I spend most of the time debating AI to build my case and to prove my point. This event just seems odd at best. And when something rare happens at a perfect political moment, investigators don't just shrug it off. They lean in as an old school detective and they dig in and they check out on the details. So today we're going to look at this the way detectives do, not emotionally, not politically, but a pattern. Here's something most people don't realize. True ransom kidnappings in the United States are extremely rare. Not missing persons, not custody disputes, but actual adult ransom abductions. And based on the Department of Justice historical reporting, we're likely to talk about dozens per year in most years. In some years, none at all. Nothing that hits the headlines. So, as far as successful ransom cases, even fewer. Most fail, most end badly, and most never look cinematic like this one does. So when one suddenly appears complete with ransom narratives, crypto mention, and immediate national coverage, that alone makes this statistically unusual. That's not opinion. That's baseline probability. Rare events, never investigations. Excuse me. So these cases are rare. I mean, they deserve investigating. They deserve to be looked at and scrutinized. So when we talk about patterns, real opportunistic kidnappings usually look like chaotic, sloppy, local, poorly communicated, and little planning. They don't involve polished messaging, rapid media saturation, coordinated narratives, Hollywood-style ransom framing. I mean, this all seems fake. I don't even think the family knew that there was ransom notes when it first came out. I mean, these are characteristics of organized operations, not random street crimes or, it just happened off the cuff. Someone planned this. And that's not speculation. Someone always plans an abduction. So the question is who and why. And so now here's where it gets interesting. The story explodes into the media cycle at the exact moment Epstein-related information is resurfacing. Names are being discussed. Public attention is tightening. Then suddenly, a rare crime appears. Emotionally charged, easy to digest, perfect for headlines. This is how attention displacement works. It doesn't even require coordination anymore. Media runs on emotional velocity. But detectives still note timing, because timing tells motive. So people act like narratives manipulation is a conspiracy. It isn't. It's documented. Our government's done this before. And that's why you have to check the past and how things are operated, like the Gulf of Tonkin, Tuskegee, COINTELPRO, Iraq, WMDs. Those aren't theories. They're declassified actual events that our government perpetrated. And yes, in the early 1900s, banking interests owned major newspapers and radio networks, promoted the Federal Reserve, fueled panic during the bank runs, and helped manufacture consent for a new stable system. We've been talking about Jekyll Island for 30 years with people my age, and I'm glad everyone's finally getting on board, understanding who these people are and who's running our country and our banking system. It's no mystery now, but before we were called tinfoil hat wearers and conspiracy theorists. So far, conspiracy theorists from my age, we're about 125 and 0. So that's not fringe history. That's economic record. Governments shape narratives. Media shapes perception. Psychological influence is real. And here's the real psychological part most people miss. Modern influence doesn't require fake aliens or staged invasions. It uses distraction, emotional hijacking, rapid story replacement, attention flooding. People don't need to be convinced, they just need to be redirected. And when something dramatic appears right when attention is focusing somewhere uncomfortable, professionals call the narrative substitutions. So detectives always ask, who benefits? Media companies benefit, algorithms benefit, politicians surely benefit, institutions under pressure benefit, the FBI, local police stations. So public attention shifts. Again, benefit doesn't prove authorship, but but it does establishes motive. And that's what we're looking for, is motive. Someone always profits from distractions. Now let me be clear. I'm not claiming intelligent agencies have abducted anyone yet. What I am saying, they are capable. They have history. They run covert operations. They specialize in psychological influence, and that's factual. Capability doesn't prove guilt, but it does expand the suspect pool, doesn't it? And when there are no visible leads, detectives look to those with means, motive, and precedent. So here's where we land. Someone abducted her. That's a fact. This wasn't random chaos. That's probability. The timing is unusually convenient. That's observable. The media behavior fits distractions mechanics. That's documented psychologically. So who did it? Unknown for now. Why? Unknown in a way. But pretending this looks normal would be intellectually dishonest. So until evidence appears, the case remains a professional feeling, perfectly timed, psychologically useful, unknown authorship, and that's exactly how real investigations begin. Because that's where you look. You take everything into consideration. One last thing. When something rare appears at the perfect moment, don't rush to certainty, but don't dismiss patterns either. Follow motive, follow timing, follow who benefits. That's how truth eventually surfaces. In a true crime case, review historical patterns and follow the money. That's how people are always caught in crimes. So why would we do anything different with this one? So if you will, join, like. I have other topics I talk about, but this one just seems odd. I include everything, and everything's on the table. So thanks for joining.